In today's living room Ikea hack for small spaces, I'm going to show you how I transformed this Ikea Kallax shelving unit into a cute and practical bench that can fit into a tiny space and seat up to 3 adults easily. The best bit is there is no foam under there. Let's get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Ooni Crafts. If this is your first time here, this is a crafts and home improvement channel committed to donating a percentage of all ad revenue to charities of your choice. You can find out more in the About section of Ooni Crafts. Let's go ahead. So as you can see, this is the original shelving unit. It's very practical, but hardly anything worth sitting on. We had just covered it with a throw and restoring stuff underneath it for the kids mostly, and my weight training equipment. And this is a finished bench in line with my new color scheme. As you can see, it's just completely transformed and I love the way it looks. Originally, this is not how I planned to film this video. I had actually filmed a beautiful 27 minutes worth of first half footage for this video. But for some bizarre reason, my phone decided to completely swallow up that video and make it disappear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to improvise because I think there is enough value in the information here to help you come up with some amazing seating solutions in your own home in a very cost-effective manner without buying anything fancy. So here in front of you, I'm just lining up the materials I used. As you can see, there is nothing fancy here. Fabric scissors, staple gun, a hammer, and a screwdriver. The screwdriver is helpful if you accidentally install any staples where they shouldn't be, and you can just wriggle it underneath the staple and prise that staple out. And I also used a small set of pliers in case I need to pull that staple out. To secure the staples completely and to sit them flush against the wood, I used this hammer. Now, let me demonstrate to you how I went about creating that bench seat. So the most expensive and the most important part of this project was the fabric cover for the seat. This is kind of like a vinyl fabric. It's a wipe clean fabric with a shiny or semi-matte top, and on the underside you can feel that it's fabric coated with some kind of plastic which makes it waterproof. The bench seat is sitting right behind the kitchen counter, so if the kids spill something on it, I can simply just wipe it off. I live in England and there's a shop here called Dunelm Mill which sells fabric. This fabric was the most expensive thing in this entire project. It cost me £10 per meter. I bought 2 meters because the width of the fabric wasn't long enough to cover the length of the bench, and that cost me a total of £20. This is the leftover fabric from my project and I can use it for some other thing. The very first thing I did is I laid out this fabric flat. I laid it out face down, so this is the wrong side of the fabric. Next, what I did is I bought some batting, also called wadding. It's this material. It's this fluffy material which comes in rolls, and this was super cheap. This was £6 a meter and I only used half a meter. So literally this cost me £3. So the good thing about wadding or batting is that it gives your projects a smooth finish right underneath the top fabric. So whatever filling you do underneath, whether you're using a foam block or anything else that I'm going to show you right now, when you finish it off with this, when you cover it off with this, it's going to cover all the lumps and bumps and give your project a nice smooth finish. So I laid down my fabric first, then I laid down the batting on top of the fabric like so. I did not have a foam block. I decided to use stuff which I already had lying around the house. This is really fun. Check this out. What you see here is a remnant or offcut of a really old throw. It's now so threadbare. It's been washed so many times. I had 2 of these throws with me because I've got a large sofa and I used to cover it with 2 throws. I doubled it up and then I doubled it again. And this gave me a lovely cushy sandwich of throw layers. And I did this with 2 throws, so let me show you how thick that sandwich was. So now can you see I've got 4 layers of this lovely soft fleecy material, which would otherwise have gone to waste. After folding every time, I would take my time to smooth it out, making sure there are no lumps or bumps. And now on top of this, I placed my piece of wood. Now I'm just going to show you what the actual piece of wood looked like. So here it is. This is actually not pure wood, but actually a piece of chipwood. And the best part is, because this was a piece of an offcut that someone else had left behind, it cost me next to nothing. Here you can see it literally just cost me £2. And I measured the bench size, or the size of the Kallax shelving unit, and I had the guy cut it exactly for me. It's about 1.5 centimeters deep, and they cut it for free. So now that you've seen that piece of wood, because that is now already converted into the bench and I don't have footage of doing that, let me demonstrate what I did by using this game board. So this is just an old Ludo board my girls play with. So what I did is, at the bottom you can see that's the fabric, then that's the batting. Then instead of a foam block, I had all these layers of an old throw, or 2 old throws. And then finally I layered my wood in the middle of it. Okay. Then what I did is I cut around it. So on either side I kept loads of fabric. So I kept like the width of my hand when I spread it out here, and on the other side, and on there as well. And I cut away the excess. After this, I took my staple gun and I folded these layers over and I started tacking it down. Tack, 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 tack. I stapled all the way along one length, and then on the other side as well. Kept all these layers and I folded it up and I tacked down the fabric, pulling really, really tight. So I actually sat on top of the wooden board so I can pull it tight, and then I tacked it down along both the lengths. Once this was done, I then moved on to the shorter edges and then the corners. Now I do have footage of that, so now I'm going to show you the actual footage of how I did that. Now, before we move on to the next section, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for watching the videos here. You must have seen a bar flashing at the bottom of this video. This is the amount of money that you have helped raise for charity through Ooni Crafts, and all of these charities are listed in the About section of the channel, so please do go check that out. I know you guys love supporting environmental charities, so please comment down below and let me know what your favorite charity is, where we should donate this month's ad revenue percentage proceeds. If you want to help the cause absolutely free of cost, you can take the One View Wonder Challenge. All you have to do is watch one more video here without skipping any ads. For further details, please do read the About section of Ooni Crafts. And now, let's move on. Now, at this stage, I had already tagged down both the long lengths of the bench seat, and the 2 narrow ends still remained. However, after tacking those long ends down, I realized that there's a lot of bulk on the back of the bench, which was making it difficult for me to tack down the staples into the wood. So here I am, I'm just digging my hand in there, digging the tip of the scissors in there and cutting away all of that bulk material so that it's easy for me to fold over and tack the fabric down. And I tried to remove the bulk on all 4 sides as best as possible, so I also cut away the extra batting which was hanging out on the back, along with any other extra fabric bulk that I saw sitting underneath that piece of wood, which would make the tacking difficult. So I just cut away any extra bulk all the way around. Every time I found any bulky bits, I just snipped those away. Next, I climbed back up on the board and took my time pulling the side edges really, really tight and then stapling them down using 3 to 4 staples. For the corners, I used something called the butterfly technique, and I'm going to post a link down below to a video which shows you exactly how to do that. It's really very easy actually. You just bring the two edges together diagonally from the corner and you snip diagonally into the corner, leaving 2 inches of fabric behind. Then you cut down vertically into that cut, and then you also tidy up that cut horizontally like so, as I'm doing right now. And once this is done, you can now splay open that pocket of fabric very neatly and then tack it down, and it gives you a perfect corner. I must admit my first corner wasn't the neatest because it still had a bit of bulk down there which I wasn't able to remove effectively, but the second, third and fourth corners turned out beautifully well, and I was super proud of how they turned out. I also took my time to hammer the staples down so that they sit flush against the wood. Now, by the time I was onto my second and then third and fourth corners, I was feeling a lot more confident about cutting the fabric and splaying it open, making sure all the bulk is gone. So my corners started to get really neat now. That's the last of the staples, and now once I turned it over, you can see that the corners are sitting really neatly. And now here's a final look at the finished product as it turned out. I think overall for a handmade project, it turned out really well. I did make mistakes and it was my very first project, so I know the back was a bit uneven, but once I sat it down on top of the Kallax unit, you will see that none of that matters. I didn't even need to glue this down or worry about how to fix this on top. This has now been in my home and in constant use for 2 weeks now. The kids have been climbing all over it. We've been using it regularly and it's just been really sturdy and a very nice addition to our living room. The wipe clean surface is just so easy to keep clean, and I don't have to worry about the kids spilling on anything on there. It's just a fun little seating arrangement. It can seat up to 3 people, and we still have storage, so you can see my kids' toys are in there, and I'm storing a throw in the other cube. So it's just all in all very practical, and I just love the way this turned out. I do hope you guys would also give it a try. You've got nothing to lose. It's just such a fun little project. You can get it together in about an hour's time, and you will have a nice cute little seat, some extra seating around your home where it's most needed. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you found this video inspiring and that it gave you some ideas on how to create some extra seating in your home very quickly, very easily, and on a budget too. If you found this video helpful, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing for more DIY craft projects. And please do comment down below about what is your favorite charity to which we should donate this month's proceeds to. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!